Hello everyone, I think this is all working. Let me pop this to the side to get this all set up. Right, I think we're all good. Just let me know if you can hear me. Hey Axie. Okay, I'm in a replay. Right, so the idea today is to run through this 1 hour race to try maybe give a few people a bit more confidence or a bit more of an idea of how to complete this event. Hey again, JR. It's nice to see you again. I might wait for a few more to join before I get started, but my idea, wait, can I change car? Oh, I can too. For those of you who saw my video from the other day, the top of my list of pure pace was the Mercedes AMG, and I found that just by upshifting a little bit early in this car, you can get a whole lot more fuel efficiency out of it, and it ends up being quicker than what the Aston was overall, so my car of choice leans towards the Mercedes. If we look on the ranking boards for this 1 hour race, and we look at the top 10 stars, so these are the top 10 results in the world for this race. Hey guys, hey Aaron, hey Jose. But yeah, this is the top 10 in the world, and these are the cars that have achieved these results. And there's a few Mazda RX Visions, and I'd be tempted to use that one, but it's a little bit on the less stable side. I kind of want to go for something a little bit more beginner friendly to a more broader audience for this race. The RCZ, I don't know how someone's managed to get the RCZ up there. Maybe that was done before the update. There's an R8, I can see why that's there. That's a really quick one. The BRZs, and there's another RCZ, and there's a Mercedes in there. What else? There's an RSR and a Genesis. I might actually go with the Genesis at one point, but I think for today I'll run with the Mercedes. I'm really confident with that car. It's really quick. It's very stable. You'll have almost no issues with that car. Maybe a little bit towards the end of the stint. But, yeah, we'll go with the Mercedes today. Let me just... Oh, what have I done? Let me check this. Probably should have done this before the stream started. Can I move this? Alright, and that can stay where it is. Alright, I think we're good. I don't like where that is. Alright, that'll do for now. Yeah, see, the AMG is really good. Just short shifting the car gets a whole lot more fuel efficiency out of it. So before we start, I'm going to go through a couple cars I've experimented with, which would be this AMG. I've just done a few runs of that, and I haven't done running on the I haven't done as much running on the RX Vision as I would have liked to. I want to see how good that one can be. I did running with the DBR9 Aston Martin. That thing, it's great on fuel efficiency, and it can do a one-stop race. I mean, it can do a two-stop. You can do a two-stop with all of these things. But it didn't have a whole lot of pace on it. Where the that's where the AMG shines. It just got raw pace everywhere, and I haven't tried the Porsche. I want to try that, but I assume that's going to get a little bit more unstable towards the end of the stint where the tires wear off. And there are a few other cars I tried, but they just weren't really worth it. We're going to run the AMG today. Yeah, it's a very stable car in this game. Before I actually do the race, I think what we'll do is go through a few tips around the track, things I want to point out. And also, there's two strategies obviously you can do. You can do the medium tire strategy or the hard tire strategy. With the medium tires, you can't do a one-stop. The tires are too done before you get to halfway. It's either a two-stop on mediums or a one-stop on hards. Now, I'm just going to let everybody through so we can look at some pointers. And the other thing I'm not sure many people actually think about is, in this race, the wind change, oh, you can't see it. Wait, let me... Oh, I've just moved the wrong thing. How do I move my face, my ugly face? Right. So, just above my head there, like right there, there's the wind speed and direction. That changes every time you do this race. So right now it's currently 3.4 meters per second northeast, and sometimes it could be 3 or 4 meters per second south or going downwards. So that affects lap time. Actually, I'm going to go back real quick. Yeah, so just bear in mind that actually can affect your lap time a little bit. Not hugely, but it might do. Right, I want to go back here. So for this first turn here, hopefully the AI ain't going to come slam me from the rear end while I'm doing this. But yeah, for this first turn, you want to cut this apex as much as you can, but if you go too far across, like into the grass a little bit, when you come back onto the curb, it's likely to jump the front end of the car up, and while the car is levitating, it's off the ground, obviously you're not going to have the grip while the car's off the ground, so it pushes you up quite wide, really tight on this apex. So you want to get as much of the apex of that curb as you can without really cutting it. This curb, you can actually tuck your car right onto this yellow stuff here without getting any sort of penalty. You can use all of this, but you don't really want to touch the grass. Let me get back into cockpit because it's my favourite view. That's how I'm going to be driving today. I'm sorry for those of you who don't drive in cockpit. And then to the right side, obviously we'd come all the way, there's like a crossover on those white lines on the track. That's where we begin to turn in. We'll usually be in third gear, lifting off and just nipping up back over the curb where the grass cuts at the end of the curb there. The AI are coming. I want to get through this corner quickly. This turn we want to do a bit of coasting through. We don't want to get too over that orange stuff because the car gets unstable, it ends up pushing you wide. We'll have a look as we get through there in our future laps. Just going to let these guys go through, and then we can do some more talking. What's your opinion on turning TC1 for slow corners and throttle and turning off for the rest of the track? Well, the thing is, I don't think it really engages in the fast turn, so it doesn't really matter all that much. And it's honestly best to just leave it on, like for safety, especially in these front engine cars where the car often breaks loose on throttle, because one little mistake can completely ruin your run. I just missed the braking reference for this turn. Go back a little bit. That little strip of concrete on the left there, just right next to the car there on the left. As we get past that, we want to be braking in the middle of the track. We want to be, and especially in mid-engine cars, we want to be braking in a straight line here. If you're turning at all, the rear starts sliding around. And we want to use all inside curb, but try avoid the orange bit. That kind of unsettles you and pushes you wide as well. And you can run all the way out to here, but if your rear tyre catches the grass, the car can spin. I've had that a few times when I'm really pushing it, and it puts an end to your lap. And this turn, this is where you make up most of your time on this track. If you want to make up lap time, I just want to check if okay, it looks good. If you want to make up lap time on this track, you want to use all of this. Make sure your outer wheels are on the curb, and then make your line you want to optimize your line for that final turn. You want to get that as flat out as possible. This turn here, you can cut right over here, but if you go too far you'll pick up a penalty. You want to make sure you keep your left side wheels on that curb, and then you straighten yourself out nicely for this one. This one you can cut all of this inside concrete strip here, and if you know you're going to go wide, you need to lift off the throttle and make sure you're not going to go into the grass, because you're not going to have a good time if you get stuck out there. Yeah, brake bias, that's not a thing here, unfortunately. Now down to this turn. Okay, so with different cars you'll be braking in different spots, but basically in this car you want to brake about a car length before the end of this fence, about there. Or this is like if you're really pushing, if you're carrying a lot of speed, you want to be braking near the end of that fence, and you can use all of the concrete here, but I reckon the better line is to come out a little bit and then sort of tuck yourself in mid to late apex. If you tuck into the apex too early, you end up accelerating too early and you go onto the sand there. And these turns are a bit straightforward right here. Flat out through here, you want to open up your entry line, go flat out through here. You can cut over the grass there if you need to. Now, this one's a little bit more tricky to work out your braking reference, but it's just before that 50 board. Braking down to third, and you want to be trail braking. You can cut all the way over the inside here, just make sure you don't cut too much. And here's a nasty little bit. When that grass right there, if you catch your wheels on that grass, the car often gets sideways and messes you up good. And here, don't hit this orange curb because I'm not carrying much speed now, but usually if you're carrying a lot of speed, it'll throw you across the track. And then here you can use a lot of the inside curb as well. Build your confidence and brake early enough, and you can carry your car right over the inside curb here out to the exit. So, with a few things out the way there, I think we might get onto a run. As you can, I don't know if you can see, it's quite small, but above my head right there, that's my current best result, which is 31 laps. The top results in the world are also 31 laps. So if you can make it to 31 laps, you've won the race. The AI only do 30 laps. So if you can make it to the 31st lap, it doesn't matter. If you make it to the 31st lap, you've won the race. You can cruise even if you have like 0.3 laps worth of fuel. If you can coast that entire lap, you would have already won the race. That's just a note. I think I've got hard tyres on. No, yes. I've been trying to work out which is the better strategy, medium tyres or hard tyres, but honestly, they seem very, very close. They feel very close. This car, you have to be a little bit more conservative with your fuel if you want to make a one-stop work. So you have to shift quite a bit earlier, make sure you get to the end. But it can be done. The mediums is a lot more confidence-inspiring. Actually, that's one thing I haven't tried. You can mix the compounds. You can put, say, hards in the front, whatever, but I haven't tried that. I'm not sure if there's much of a benefit in there. But actually, that could be worth playing around with. Yep, so the most confidence I've found in this race so far is by driving this car on the medium tyres, because you don't have to worry about saving fuel as much. It's still good to save fuel as much as you can, because the more fuel you save, the less you have to add in your pit stops, and it takes a long time to fuel up your car in the pit stops here, so the less fuel you take, the quicker you're going to be. Is there any other notes I want to make before we get into it? I mean, playing the one-stop game with a non-fuel efficient car is actually quite fun. It gives you a bit of a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of cars that you can actually do this race on. I was going to ask you guys today if you wanted me to do this race on the slowest car to see if that was possible, because I'm sure it is. It will just be quite difficult. But we want to make... I want to try to show that how much you can really win this race with this car. What I was going to say? Oh yeah. The AI seemed very inconsistent, because on one of my more poor runs, I finished 1 minute 20 seconds ahead of the nearest AI in second position, 1 minute 20 ahead, and I had made a spin in that race, so that cost me about 10 seconds. I added it up, plus a penalty or so here and there, about 10 seconds. On my best run with very little mistakes, no spins or penalties, I also finished 1 minute 20 seconds ahead. So I think, but my overall time was faster in that run. So the AI are kind of inconsistent. I'm not sure if the boost is enabled in this race, which allows the rear to catch up to the front of the field a little easier. Not sure if that's a thing. I don't think it is. But the AI do seem a bit inconsistent. Right, we're going to get into it. Oh, thank you, Optical, for subbing. I'm going to try and drive a good race. I'm going to try and do my best here, and we're going to probably restart it a few times, because you need to lean on the AI in these first few corners. We're going to get dirty. They are just AI after all. You want to get onto this 4GT here. If you miss the 4GT, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can make this work, but if you really want to get the most out of this, you want to get onto that 4GT and use him, lean on him to pull you around the corner. Because AI really hold onto the road nicely, so it's like Need for Speed. You can hold on to the cars and use them to help you turn. And the AI are kind of dodgy overall, but we're going to try and get onto that 4GT, brake real late. Okay, that's way too late, way too late. We want to lean on that 4GT and then lean on the R8 for the hairpin, and after that we can be a little bit more clean. If you want to make the most out of this race, this is what I'm kind of trying to show, is just how to get the most out of it. Initially, we want to get right into the slipstream of this thing. To get the most out of this car, you want to shift at the end of that rev line at the bottom there. Okay, and the other thing I want to say is the starting positions of the AI are also inconsistent. For example, in some attempts, I will make my run down to the first turn here. It's taking a while to restart. There we go. Sometimes I'll run down to the first turn and I'll make it to the 4GT. Sometimes he'll be past the corner before I even get there, so it is a little bit inconsistent. I'm looking quite far behind here. Oh, I broke a little bit late there. Yeah, it's a bit too late. We could have actually made that work, because that little bit of paint on the outside, that's a little bit of track we can use. And the other way to reset it is by exiting the session. That completely kind of resets the AI in a way, which I might do because it seems like the AI is starting quite far ahead in this particular run. So I'm going to restart the session, see if we can get the AI to behave a little bit differently, reset them a little bit, and see if I can get a more or a better opportunity on the first corner. Hopefully it won't take too long to load. I mean, I would never recommend you drive so dirty, especially online. Don't drive like this online, don't be naughty. But in this situation, the AI are really, they don't know how to drive. They just use you as brakes, so why can't we use them as brakes, you know? So we're going to be doing that here to get the most out of this race. Hey Cola, I'm using the Thrustmaster TGT2 wheelbase and the Thrustmaster SF1000 steering wheel. Actually, I want to bring up something. Where is it? While this is loading, image. Because it has been supplied kindly by NZ Gaming. For anyone who is from NZ, you can pick up all the equipment that I'm using here from NZ Gaming. Right, I'm gonna get onto this again. Let's see how the AI go around this time. You should try stream some online races sometime. I think I'd like to. I want to build up my my what's it called, the driver rating first, because I'm still like D or something. So I want to build that up before I start doing online stuff, because I'm not currently sitting in the right category, I don't think. Right. I mean, you don't have to lean on the AI, but if you really want to, like, there we go. Really leaning. He helps push me through the because if I missed the AI there, I would have gone straight across the track into the grass, but he allowed me to stay on the track. At some points I would be in front of the R8 at this point. We could probably send one here and just lean on him a little bit. Oh no, got a little bit sideways there, so that's not a very optimal run, but we'll just keep going with it and see what I can get out of this run. And then once we are past this first lap, we can focus a little bit more on the upshifting points. Oh, he's holding me up a little bit there. But yeah, we just want to be really aggressive in the first lap. Try to get through as many of the cars as we can. Should be able to sneak it through in the Mazda here. There we go. Lean on him a little bit. Do a little bit of lifting if we're going to go wide. And at this point, we can actually drive normally now and use our real reference points. Okie dokie, just the Merc and the Porsche and the Toyota to go. It's more so that, out of these three, I think it's more so the Merc that we should be worried about. I don't think the Toyota or the Porsche finish near the top in this race, I don't believe. But I do remember this Merc guy's name popping up near the top towards the end of the race. So if you really do struggle, if you can get past the pit stops and then just at least get to the front, you can defend for the rest of the race, like block the, oh, a bit dirty there. You can block the other drivers if you really have to, and that should be enough for you to win the race. Oh, he's really fighting it. Right, we should be good here. Yeah, I haven't actually done those 800 and 950 pp races, those ones that aren't part of the cafe books. I haven't done any of those things yet. I haven't done a whole lot of grinding, and I probably should. Is that Merc next to me? No, he's not. Good. What are we on? Lap 2. Right, we should be able to catch the Toyota towards the end of this lap. Yeah, this has definitely not been my best start so far. I just want to get into a bit of a rhythm. Because consistency is a huge part of this race. You want to really be avoiding mistakes as much as you can. There we go, that's an ideal line coming through and out of there. Yeah, the M6, I mean, yeah, the M6 comes out of absolutely nowhere later in this race. This is the part of the track I reckon you can make the most of your time up, just using as much of that track and going as fast through there as you possibly can without picking up a penalty, because it's also easy to do that. There we go, we should snatch the first position here on the second lap. Very nice dive up the inside there, and that's ours. Oh, he's fighting it. No, you're not keeping that, mate. Right, that's ours, I think. Where is he? Is he there? Oh, he is there. We're in front of him now. And now we get to focus on the driving lines from here on. No more. Well, we will come across back marker traffic later in the race. But for now, it's pretty much straightforward driving. But we don't want to relax too much. Like I said, we want to be consistent. We can't stop focusing. It's not easy from here on. So we can. I really want to push the limits of that corner and see where we pick up a penalty, because you can use a lot of that inside right there and gain yourself some time. Now on medium tyres we should be able. Well, I've been able to do some 1 minute 54 lap times. Oh, I've cut that a bit too much. And you see you get a little bit unstable there. It wasn't too bad though. And you want to have a bit of throttle control like coming out of those tighter turns, or the rear end will stick out on you. Let the car come back to the outside, down to second gear, a little bit of trail braking, pull it to the inside, on the curb. And there we go, you can use a bit of the exit off-road there as well. And oh yeah, the shifting points, we'll look at that once I get into a straight. Braking in a straight line here, third gear should be fine. Up the hill. And then third gear through here. Just watch how much of the inside you can take here. You can take a lot. Keep your left side wheels on that curb. You should be able to go flat through here. As the tyres wear off, you might not be able to go flat through that turn anymore, so you will have to have a bit of a lift later in the race. On that rev bar at the bottom of the screen there, I shifted about 75% just to save enough fuel. This thing's still plenty quick, even when you shift early. And then kind of like a mid to late apex on this turn. As the tyres wear, the car will be a little bit more slippy coming out of there as well. You want to control your throttle through there. Otherwise, that is most of the valuable information, to be honest. I don't think this has been the best lap, but we should be seeing the 55s, I reckon. And let me see if I can put together a 54 in the next lap. This turn's annoying, there's no real strong braking reference. You just want to be making use of all the track as much as you can. What is this going to be, a 55? Yeah, 55. Let's try to get a 54. So far, a good start. There we go. That was very nice. That's pretty much as you want to use. You don't want to go any more, cutting any more than that, because you might pick up a penalty. This should be a 54 if I can get the final sector together. That corner we just did is a nightmare in most mid-engine cars. You have to carry a lot of throttle, or throttle early, mid-apex, somewhere around there to stop the rear end moving around. Trail braking through here, that's probably a little bit more curved than I would usually like. Use a little bit of the inside there. One more corner to go. Braking before that sign. Third gear should do, that's quite a lot of inside curb. And I think we'll be fine with that though. And that should be a 54. Just, yep, not too bad. Now the thing about that is you get the lap time, but you want to be consistent with it. You want to get that as frequently as you possibly can. On medium tyres, you will become a bit slower as the stint goes on. On hard tyres, throughout the stint, your lap time should generally be about the same the entire time. I've found the pattern seems to go on hard tyres. You start off fast, then mid-stint you get a little bit slower, and then as the fuel comes off towards the end of the stint, you gain a little bit more lap time again. On medium tyres, yeah, it's your first like 5-6 laps or so quick, and then you drop off up to about a second loss per lap, around about lap 10. And yeah, again, our strategy for the medium tyres will be pitting on lap 11, because, well, it depends. If you think you're gonna, let me try work it out. If you're doing maybe 57, 1 minute 56 to 1 minute 57 lap times on medium tyres, you're probably gonna do 30 laps, so you can pit a lap 10 and lap 20. If you're doing like 1 minute 54s or 1 minute 55s on medium tyres, you're probably going to want to pit on lap 11 and lap 21, because you should be able to make it to lap 31 by the end. And if you do have this pace, then it's just all about saving as much fuel as you can, so you don't have to add as much in the pit stop. If you're on hard tyres, you would probably need to be shifting a little bit earlier than I am here to make sure you have enough fuel to make a one-stop work. I'll try catch up on some comments. I think I missed a few. 5. Yeah, I mean, I've barely touched the online side so far in GT7, to be quite honest. Like I said, I'm still sitting around rank D, I think it is. I haven't done many races. I've only done about 3 or 4 races online. I just haven't... One, I haven't had the time, because with all the videos I've been doing, I've spent most of my time doing all offline stuff. And yeah, my focus just hasn't been online. I know a lot of people do a lot of online content. So, you know, I thought, well, I may as well just stick to the offline stuff for now. Maybe I'll get to that kind of content at some point. I was thinking of doing like the daily race track guides, but I've noticed a lot of people do those as well, so I've been sticking away from that. Nice and smooth through there. We are losing a bit of lap time though. And yeah, I mean, if you could possibly, yeah, you can definitely do a one-stop with this car on hard tyres. If you're using medium tyres, you're not going to want a one-stop. The tyres are too rubbish by the time you get past lap 10. You're going slower than hard tyres by the time you get to lap 10 on mediums. The Z4, I mean, since I've done my test video on this track with all the cars, it's, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it above this thing. This thing's definitely going to outshine that in pretty much every aspect. This thing's stable, it's fast, and it's decent enough on fuel. So, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to recommend the Z4 above this. Yeah, the Z4 is very understeery. It is very stable though. And I also noticed the wind speed does change a little bit throughout this race. So I'm currently running, it's like 1.8 meters per second south-ish. Sometimes it's like 3 meters per second. So some of that stuff can affect your performance throughout the race, just a little bit. What laps am I doing? It's lap 7, so we want to pit on lap 11. We're past halfway through this stint. The tyres are beginning to go off a little bit. We will notice the rear end's a little bit slidier on throttle. It's alright. Is it Kai or Key 8? You're welcome. You do have to slow the car down. Most of the front engine cars, you understeer so much on that hairpin. This car's actually not too bad in there, and the Corvette's also quite nice through there. I didn't go for the Corvette because I don't know, it probably would work, but I found the thing a little bit more unstable than this thing was. This is just like a much more stable alternative to the Corvette. They both are really quick around here. They both can be decent enough on fuel if you drive them right. This thing's a lot more stable. That Corvette moves a lot more on throttle than this thing does. That one's a little bit, yeah, I compromised my line a lot there. I had to lift, so I made this turn. I would be very curious to try this race with that Peugeot VGT, the thing that I can't seem to get any lap time out of. I mean, that was about what did I say in that video? 2.3 seconds off. If I'm doing 2.3, what would that be? I'm doing like 57s with that car. It'd be interesting to see if I can make that thing win. Maybe try that in a later video or something. We'll see how this goes. I'll get to the end of this race and maybe I'll run a few laps in another car to see what kind of strategy we can pick out for it. Yeah, I find it funny how both the V12s were on the better side of fuel on my videos. I do drive with TC on. I don't bother with turning it off, to be honest. I feel like it definitely saves you if you lose concentration a little bit. You start punching the throttle too hard. Like right there, if I had traction control off, I would have probably spun it with my foot pinned to the floor. Just TC1 though, that does the job. Oh, that's a little wide. Yeah, I wouldn't usually like going that wide. It costs you quite a bit of time. We're down about half a second at this point. I mean, in my best run, I definitely saw a lot more 54s. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier than it seems to spin out. Like, even in the most stable car, all it takes is your rear wheel to catch the grass and you can get into a spin. I mean, putting counter steer assist on that will kind of prevent that from happening. But that's happened to me a couple of times. I got a little bit too comfortable, and then when I least expected it, the rear end clipped the grass and I was facing backwards, and that was my run over. I mean, yeah. The other thing is some of these cars probably carry more fuel in the car themselves rather than being more fuel efficient. I'm missing that first apex a little bit. I need to get that together. Right, how are we doing? So, we passed a quarter way through this race. 42 minutes to go. Oh, it wasn't too bad. Bit understeer on exit there. The lap 10, I'm going to want to do one more lap after this. Like I said, if you're doing maybe 1 minute 57 lap times in medium tyres, then you're probably going to want to pit on lap 10. You're probably going to end up running a 30 lap race. Yeah, I do all my videos with TC on. I think there's a lot more time lost in driver error than there is with TC. But I will probably experiment with that again another time. Right, so the next lap will be coming to the pits and taking a full fuel tank. Yeah, I'm still okay. So that's one corner, and that's the other thing. When your tires begin to wear, you want to probably brake a little bit earlier because the tires just don't have as much grip and they don't have as much slowing down capability as they had before. So that's what I'm not doing, is not braking a little earlier for that first turn. Somebody's gone in the pits. Oh, a few of them are going in. Yeah, so this is going to be our pit lap. My goal is to avoid getting into the 57s in this race because that's what I did the last test. Oh, a little slidey through there. And I also want to avoid picking up a penalty because that'll kind of mess the run up a little bit. They might be 1 second penalties, but they cost you closer to 2 because you lose a lot of time. And you have to pick up your speed again down the straight. Yeah, I think if you can really control your throttle well, in some cars in particular, you'll gain a lot more time with TC off. But for these longer races, I would rather keep it on. Doesn't really matter what the car is, I just rather have that security on throttle. Don't want to half fall asleep and then loop the car on throttle. Oh, a little wide there. Not too bad, but the tyres are definitely dead now. So at this point they're definitely a little slower than the hard tyres, but that's alright, we're at the end of the stint. In we come. Right, just take a new set of medium tyres and we wait. Inonito. Manual shifting is going to help you a lot, definitely, if you can get that right, especially with the fuel saving side of it. If you shift at the right times, you'll make the most of your car. Should have brought some water with me. From London, welcome. Welcome, welcome. And that's the other thing I can't really comment on, is controller users. I don't drive with a controller, I never race with a controller. Oh, there's somebody right behind me. And there's another thing, I did say at the start of the video that the AI are inconsistent, and that's kind of another example of it. On some of my runs, I come out in first place, and by quite a margin after my pit stop, but on some occasions I'm not in first, or some occasions I'm in second. But right now we're in third, we almost lost that third as well. It's a bit random with the AI. And to be honest, this has not been my best run so far. Could have been a few seconds up the road, not too many though. Oh, thank you, Dominic. I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. And thank you for that donation. I really do appreciate it. And we should bring this gap down very quickly. I don't know, those guys will probably pit closer to lap 15. I think those are the hard tyre runners. Oh wow, there's a lot more grip now, and yeah, you can lean a lot harder on the throttle coming out of those tighter turns with the fresh tyres. It's a very dynamic experience. Towards the end, you will have to understand that the tyres just don't have as much grip as they had before. I can make that apex now. See, that's one thing I haven't really been concentrating on this run, is the way the tyres lose their grip throughout the throughout the stint. These fellas, we should catch them probably towards the end of this next lap. Yeah, and the other thing is there's their update coming this week. I don't know what day it's meant to be, but there's supposed to be another update coming this week. I'm gonna be probably making a video on the new Group 3 car. There's supposedly a new Group 3 car coming in this update, that Suzuki VGT I think it is. The Group 3 version of it. Be curious to see how well that one goes. Add that to my list of lap times around this track. Alright, we're gonna get a sneaky little move on the inside. No, oh yeah, maybe. And the other one should be into the braking zone here. Oh. Controller can be, or at least for me, in my experience, the controller is quite difficult. It's a completely different driving experience. Like I said, I haven't really ever raced on controller. Last time I raced on any sim with the controller was probably before I got my first wheel, obviously, and that was 5-6 years ago now. Gee, that's a long time. This guy's a little bit more speedy than I predicted. Can I throw one on the inside? Yeah, we can be a little sneaky. Just a little door up there, and we're good. He's got to pull out the corner though. Oh, he's kept that naughty thing. I want that position. Oh, I thought I was going to cut the turn there. Oh, a little bit sideways. But we're ahead. Now we can focus on our laps again. Let's try to get back to the 54s. Yeah, the AI, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, you get a bit of a challenge and a new experience each time with the AI being a bit random. And if they were a set difficulty and they were too hard, then you got no choice really. You're not gonna get, because with that randomness, you might get a good run where it's a whole lot easier than your previous attempt. They are quite random though. They do vary quite a bit in their pace. Oh, this is my fastest run so far. And that's another thing I've also noticed, is I think the second stint seems to be faster than the first stint. I'm not sure if that's related to the temperatures, because it does get, well, the sun does come down a little bit towards the end of this race. I wouldn't rate this lap as very good, but it's my fastest lap so far, up to this point. Only just. Oh, too much. Wasn't too bad actually. That should be enough. If that was my fastest lap, then that should be definitely enough for a 54. Have I tried cockpit wobble too? Is that an effect or something? I haven't touched any of the camera settings. Track evolution? I mean, I'm not sure how much of an effect that has in Gran Turismo 7. That could quite possibly be a part of it. But I've definitely noticed your times my times have generally gotten quicker as the race goes on, in terms of the first stint being slower than the second. The third one, yeah, probably about the same as the second, maybe a little quicker. Hard to be exactly sure of that though. Well, no, I mean, I haven't touched any of those camera options, so I don't actually know. What do they do? All I know is that Honda, the Group 3 Honda NS6, has a really weird camera wobble compared to most of the other cars. I don't quite like that. More like a G-force effect. Inside, oh, a little bit too much curb. Alright, so we're basically at 30 minutes to go. We've made it halfway through, and how far ahead are we? So we're eight laps ahead. Those guys should pit now. It's lap 15. They usually pit on lap 15, I think. It's the halfway mark. There they go. So we should be quite far ahead at this point. Looks like it's about 20 seconds. Pretty good gap, I reckon. It adds a ACC helmet cam style. Oh. I was never really a big fan of those helmet cams. They didn't really suit me. I didn't like the way they moved. Because with that Honda, like I was just mentioning before, when that thing lurches to the side under load, I get like a false sense of oversteer just because the camera's moving. I didn't quite like that. A little wide there. This isn't the greatest lap, I don't think. Let's try to sneak another 54 in before the tyres wear off too much. Oh, I broke a little too late. Well, there goes my 54. If at any point you think you're going to run too wide, just lift off the throttle. Make sure you get that front grip back. Don't run off the road and cost yourself even more time. I've already built that gap up to 26 seconds. That M6 is third. He's one of the quickest ones out of the AI. He'll be the one to worry about. Yeah, when you're wearing that helmet cam, at least the one from, I think it was Project Cars, the helmet itself was just a bit too much of a distraction. Because for those of you who don't know, I've actually raced in karting, and I think for those of you who have worn a helmet, you don't really see the helmet. You don't think of the helmet at all when you're driving. But when you put it on a sim on your screen, it becomes one of the main focuses on your screen. And it just feels a bit wrong. Okay, so the fella in second's now gone to the pits. Our gap should increase a little bit more. Oh, our gap's up to 40 seconds. So that guy, because he's gone to the pits, our gap's just gone even further up. On this kind of run, I wouldn't expect my gap to go up all the way up to minute 20, because it hasn't been as good as my previous ones. But then again, with the randomness of it, who knows? Actually, you're right about that. I think it's Lopez, the guy in the Renault RSO won in this race. I remember coming up to him, and at some point in the race when he's... Oh, I can't remember. He runs somewhere near the front of the field, but he runs really slowly. Must be like a fuel saving thing. Oh, a bit wide. Actually, no, came away with that quite nicely. Now we begin to deal with the back marker traffic, and this stuff can also ruin your run. Like if you're right on the edge of being able to beat the race or not, if you're on par with the leaders, these back markers can really screw you up. They're supposed to get out of the way, but sometimes they go right onto the apex of a turn and block you. Like right now I'm losing time to sneak through. Wasn't too bad. Right, we're at line 19, so only this lap and 2 more and we'll be going into the pits again. And then it's a run to the end. We will be carrying a little bit less fuel on our final stint though, just enough to get us to the end. I think overall, the AI, they got potential. I mean, there's supposed to be that, isn't there that Sophie AI thing that they're supposed to release at some point? I'm not too up to date with what that's all about, but I can tell that the stuff that they're using at the moment certainly isn't that. They're very, very odd with their driving and their racecraft. Oh, a bit wide. Yeah, if you catch that grass, you might end up quite wide there. Don't let yourself run too wide there. We have Roulette at M6 and P2 now. So if you can keep a steady gap to him, I think you'll be safe for the rest of the race. And if he does catch you, get your elbows out. It's time to defend. Because that's one thing with the AIs, they are actually quite easy to defend from. As long as you're in front of them, they will slow down a little bit. Like if they're right on your bumper, they won't really push you. These laps have not been my best laps. Ooh. Really playing on the edge with the limits there. Still had to have a lift as well, but we are at the end of this tyres stint. We're on the BOP setup, so the setup's just identical with whatever we've been provided with, just on the medium tyres, and 1 traction control, and 1 fuel map. So is it Sophie AI all about being fast or something? I really don't know much about it. I'm not gonna say I know. All I know is that there was something about it beat the champions of GT Sport or whatever, or GT, you know, the GT champions. But to be honest, any AI can do that. You just turn up the difficulty to unbeatable and they beat you, because they have really wacky physics most of the time. Human. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I kind of agree with them keeping the AI the same, sort of whatever they are now. They just need to be ironed out to avoid the really dodgy racecraft. Oh, so much understeer. Yeah, because if you replace the AI with some sort of smart AI, then it completely changes the game. Right, pitting time. Nice to get on some new tyres again. Ooh, the car's really rotating now. And it's good because we're going to end up going into the pits before we run into these fellas. Actually, I can recall from one of my previous runs, these two that are ahead of me, I've actually caught them a couple laps before this particular pit stop before. So that's either showing again the randomness of the AI, or that this run's just not all that great. Medium tyres, and now we go to the end. Personally, that's one thing I wish they would change in this game, is the way that pit entries, like you can just floor it into the pits and you don't get penalties or anything. It'd be nice if they made you slow down like you do in real life in any pit stop. Or at least have it as an option. Oops, I just realised I wasn't concentrating. I didn't need to add all that fuel. Oh well. We've cost ourselves unnecessary time. In the first couple corners, the tyres are a little on the understeery side. Still leading by plenty though. Wasn't concentrating there. Okay, actually take this flat now. I mean, you could definitely go medium, hard, medium, but would you want to though? If you've got, if you've got a bit more pace on the mediums, you may as well make the most of those mediums, right? Because you'll be a bit slower on the hards. The mediums hold their pace up to about lap 8 or so. At a bit of an estimate, it seems like around about lap 5, 6 they drop off a few tenths of a second, up to about 3, 4. And then lap 9, 10 you're losing a second off the optimal pace of the mediums. Oh, which way are you going? I'll tell you what, we certainly have enough fuel to the end of this race, so I can probably just burn it all. Why aren't I racing online? I've been focusing mostly on offline content so far. With most of this YouTube stuff, it's all been offline, and that consumes a lot of my time. I just haven't had time to go online. I'm still rank D. I think it's rank D or something like that. So I want to build that rank up before I do online content. It's not going to look great as it is. I mean, if you're gonna go with the medium, hard, medium, I'd say do like 6 laps or so on the mediums, so you avoid falling off that cliff with the tyre grip. Then you've made the most of your first set of mediums. Then you can use the hards for a long period, up to like lap maybe 25, and then you do the final stint on the other mediums, something like that. I don't know. I don't know if that would be better than medium, medium, medium. These laps have really not been the best. Should be enough to get us to lap 31, I hope. Are you going to get in the way in the apex? Sneak through. Yeah, I've done a few races online, but only a few. Maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5. Just haven't put too much effort into it yet. I've been wanting to get into those competition things. What is it, like the Manufacturers Cup and... oh, I forget the names of the other ones. I've been wanting to try them, but yeah, I don't know. I keep coming up with other video ideas. I get busy. Oh, thank you, Axie, for the $5. Appreciate that. Do I watch F1? What's my favourite team? It's hard to comment on that because I don't necessarily support one. Especially, like, well, this year in particular, I don't have a particular favorite. Like with Red Bull, Ferrari at the top there this year, I don't really mind. I'm just good. I'm happy to see a closer battle. I'm happy that we don't see a pure dominant team. That's quite nice. It's a bit sad the way we've got a point gap at the moment with the DNFs, obviously. I'm just happy to see a nice, good battle up there at the top. That's always fun to see. Be nice to see McLaren bring it back up again. Be nice to see all the teams bring it back up again. Come on, we shouldn't be in the 56ers. You're gonna... Damn, they always do that. They always park it right on the apex. I have to shave a half a second off, or maybe up to a second because of their slow apexes. So annoying. I tell you, I think it was, which video was it? My first human comedy guide video at this track. It took me forever to make because of doing all my tests and everything. All the damn AI always getting in the way or taking me out. That was horrible. Made more enemies with AI than I have with real people. I did like one race with the manufacturer. That's one of the online races that I've done. I think it was the first test season. I did like one race at Deep Forest in the Dodge Viper, the manufacturer's Group 3. That was cool and all, but I was like the bottom rank, so it was very all over the place. Everyone was spinning and crashing. It was a mess. But that was kind of fun. I think it's a cool idea, and I want to do more of it. I just need to build my rating up a bit. Oh, a little wide. Thanks again for that, XE. Thank you all for getting involved with the chat in this live stream. It's a bit of fun. And for those of you who do struggle a wee bit with this race, for those of you who just joined, I gave a bit more tips and info at the start of the stream, and for those of you who saw that, I hope that might have helped out a little bit. Yeah, Mercedes, they're a bit of an unknown at the moment. They were very low down a few races ago, and they're showing some good pace. Who knows, we might see a win or two, but then again, they aren't quite there. They just aren't quite there. Rain races are the best races because they just mix up the grid so much, particularly in qualifying, as we saw at Canada. Well, that might have been closer to a 54 if I didn't touch the grass there. How long? We've got 8 minutes. So 8 minutes to go. Our gap is currently 50 seconds. We're not going to have a big gap like I did in my previous runs. It's going to probably be closer to about 1 minute, which is still good. It just shows that you can really do this race if you put some consistency into it. If you can't get the lap times, spend more time doing the circuit experiences and nailing each sector. Get yourself more comfortable with the track. Use all of the track. Not that much, but make sure you be comfortable with the track so you can bring your lap times down. I think you'll be fine on medium tyres if you're doing 1 minute 57s, even 1 minute 58s maybe. You should be okay. You'll probably be fighting with 1 minute 58s, but on hards you'd be more acceptable with that kind of pace. It's the first time I got that turn right in a while. That one just felt a lot better. Yeah, with the Group 1s, I'm just glad that they brought the Group 1 cafe menu in that recent update. The game was definitely lacking that. It's still lacking a few things, like where's our, the Red Bull X 2011, where's our race for that? We don't have any of that throughout the career. That was a big deal back in Gran Turismo. Well, I didn't do Gran Turismo 6, but Gran Turismo 5 we had the whole X 2010 thing. We need some more specialised events for those cars. And even like the F1 car and the go-kart, what is their purpose in GT7? Seriously, they have almost no purpose at all. I mean there was I think a mission with the 70s or the 80s F1 car, but the go-karts have nothing at all. Oh gosh, we have some bots. I'll quickly get rid of that on the straight. At least with this I can pause it. Alright, just a sec, I'm going to clear those bots. One. Report, there we go. Oh, I have to get rid of all of them individually? Alright, I think I should bring back Nightbot. It actually gets rid of those things. What comments have I missed? Yeah, I don't know if this event's difficulty has changed since it first came out. I knew there was that issue that people were having with the AI difficulties, like hard, easy, whatever. Easy was really hard, and hard was like the easiest. Whereas difficulty shouldn't actually, your AI difficulty shouldn't affect the AI performance in these races because it's supposed to be a set difficulty. I don't know if they ever fixed that, I don't know. I know a lot of people have issues with some of the setups I used in those human comedy guide videos, so I might have to go through all that again. It's all changed so much over the recent updates. I don't know what's changed, and some things haven't changed, so I'm going to have to work it all out. Using the AMG GT3 here, David. Mercedes AMG GT3. I'm just hoping, I mean, they're supposed to be bringing 3 new cars in this update this week, but I hope they bring a couple other events as well. I find myself doing more with new events than I do with a couple new cars. Two more laps after this. Oh, you're gonna ruin my line. Big ol' lift there. Yeah, you're right there. The race difficulty is supposed to be set. If they have those chili icons, then it's supposed to be a set difficulty. The AI should not be affected by your own personal difficulty level. But there was some issue that I think broke it. It should be fixed now. It's been a while since then. Getting that actual Pikes Peak track would be pretty cool. I've never driven it, but I would absolutely be willing to drive it. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm almost in the 57s. No, we're not going to fall to the 57s. Come on, I need to focus. I've said that a couple times in this video, and I got even slower. little too tight there. Hey Simon, no worries there mate. Glad that that's helped you all out. I mean, there's other like cafe menu books that I could do videos on, but if GT7's been out for quite a while now, I just think that there's too much other content on those on those missions already. So I was right onto those new ones, made sure to get those guides out, and I'm glad that they've been good. I'm definitely curious about this new Group 3 car in this update though. It'll be interesting to see what, or if it has any benefit above any other cars, whether it's good on fuel or whatever. I've almost found no reason to buy the standard VGT Suzuki. Like it wasn't competitive in the VGT event in the cafe menus, so I just didn't really have any purpose of buying as of yet. Last lap. So we've reached 31. At this point, we've won the race. You'll see. Okay, so we have a gap of 1 minute and 4 seconds to the car in second place. When they cross the line, their race is over because the time is up in 15 seconds. So they'll reach the finish line. Their race will be over at the end of lap 30 for them, but we're on lap 31. You see, I've still got 5 laps of fuel. I made a mistake in my final pit stop by not cutting the pit stop short. I could have saved a lot more time by being onto that. But it is what it is. I'm still far enough ahead by quite a long way. So there we go, time is up, and shortly you'll see checkered flags next to those guys' names. Certainly not proud of these lap times I've done in comparison to my previous run. There we go, they're starting to finish now. So on this 31st lap, if you do reach the 31st lap, then all you have to do is cruise. If you've got less than a lap's worth of fuel, for whatever reason, you just got to cruise. Even if it's at a hedgehog's pace, then you'll make it to the end and first, as long as you finish. I don't think you get it if you run out of fuel and you stop. Not 100% sure about that. Right, final turn. And we've won the race by over a lap because they finished the lap early and 1 minute and 5 seconds. Rightio. And for that, I know a lot of you probably leave now, so thank you all for watching. Thanks for those of you who've stuck around. I will probably run through again and just try that Peugeot. I want to see if that thing's viable. Thanks, David. Yeah, that old, I think you're talking about that old Suzuki from like Gran Turismo 4. I remember, I can't remember how you won that thing. I remember when I was like a kid, I always wanted it, but I couldn't figure out how to get it. What am I looking for? Peugeot. Where is it? There you are. Can this thing... Oh wait, what tyre strategy are we on? Let's go for mediums. Oh, I don't have medium tyres. I'm gonna go and get some mediums because this thing's gonna be slow on hards. Oh, we get to see the 5,000 that I'm gonna win from that 4-star. Yeah, so before I finish this live stream off, I'm gonna grab me a... Well, I'm gonna grab that roulette ticket, and then I'm gonna do a quick run on that Peugeot to see how well that does. Right, what are we gonna get? Oh, I've got a 1-star. Let's check that one out first. We already know what I've won. Oh! Oh, okay. Okay, maybe not. We actually got something different from a 1-star. I think that's my first time ever. I've not won the lowest prize on a 1-star. I mean, that's probably only worth not too much, but I'm happy enough that we won something different for a change. Cool. I think we used up all our luck on that one. We're not going to get much from the 4-star, are we? Oh, they're all vehicles at least. Thanks, David. Yeah, that's alright by me. Something other than 5,000 bucks. Yeah, appreciate that support, David. Thank you. And what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to grab the medium tyres for the Peugeot, and then we're off to do some driving. Does anybody know what day the update's going to be? Or is that just not a thing? Do they just drop it on some day? They usually leave like a notice on the day. I don't know if they warn us beforehand though. Yeah, the race is definitely winnable, definitely. And that Mercedes is going to be up there with my highest recommendations for that race. I've gone the wrong place. Need to go to the missions. Yeah, the Mercedes. The Aston Martin's perfectly viable as well. It's just not as quick. On Thursdays. Thursdays for American or like Asia Pacific? Because that's where I am. So it'll probably be the 30... No, what is it? Friday for me. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. One quick run. Medium tyres, off we go. If this thing can win, then anything can win. Yeah, I hate that GTI Group 3 car. What was it? That's my least favourite Group 3 in terms of visuals. My least favourite Group 3s is the GTI for its looks, the Citroen for its interior. I can't stand that thing's interior. Handling, we can quickly have a look. What's my least favourite handling Group 3? Probably that 4GT. Where is it? This guy. I can't stand this thing's handling. It's horrible. Either that or the Peugeot that I'm about to drive because of its pure lack of pace. Otherwise, I don't mind the rest of them. But where is it? That GTI is definitely... Where is it? There it is. The least GT3 looking car in this whole lot. Right, off we go. Thursdays for you Turkish time, maybe it'll be Friday for NZ. Yeah, it'll probably be Friday for us, that's alright. Oh no! That's the other thing I can't stand about this thing, it's got no cockpit cam. It's got this cam, I'll deal with this for now. Eh. Oh! Did I get pushed, or was that me clipping the grass? That cars don't usually have that much of a reaction to grass on Gran Turismo. Right, attempt number 2. Can't even catch the Aston before the first turn. Gosh, this thing really struggles. It's just got nothing. It's got no speed. Only just matching that Ford's pace and straight. Oh, the understeer as well. Oh, here we got more bots again. Let me get rid of that real quick. I thought I banned you. No. Why does it only delete one of them? I reported it. Should all get rid of all of them. Alright, back onto it. At least this car has some good stability. For a mid-engine car. Yeah, I mean, me coming from most sim games, I only drive purely in cockpit cam. So for me to find a car that doesn't have it, it really, really bugs me. This one's not too bad though. I can deal with it. It makes you think, was it a lack of effort or did they just not want to make the interior? What's the whole deal behind that? Because they had plenty of time to make these cars. They are VGTs after all. Oh, you naughty thing. Give me that back. I reckon if we can at least get to the lead, it's a little bit slippy there. If we can at least get to the lead, this should be possible to win with. Should be. Oh, it's so slow on the straights. Is a cockpit cam a league thing you've gotten used to? Oh. I just genuinely like driving in cockpit view for that the immersion, I guess. Because you're always gonna, well, you're gonna see more from a bumper view. But I just can't race outside of cockpit view. I've gotten too used to it. Understeer. I can actually barely hear how this thing sounds. Oh, I'm gonna make the corner. Because the way I run these live streams is that I have to play the sound through the TV and I have to turn it right down so it's not playing through the microphone. I can't really work around that with the equipment that I have. But I've gotten used to it, it's not too bad. Where is the leader? Oh, he's only 3.5 seconds up. So I've noticed more people have joined, so welcome to those of you who have. I've already run a race here today with the Mercedes. I was just going to use this car as a bit of a test to see if it's actually viable. But maybe I don't want to disappoint you, so maybe I'll keep going and just see if this thing can really win this race. I haven't really pushed it so far. Maybe we should get a move on. Oh, okay. Let me. What have I been clicking? Have I been clicking the right button to report this thing? Been clicking hide. Okay, let's hide the user. It still doesn't. Oh, there we go. That got rid of the messages. Right, hopefully that'll stay away now. So 10 minutes ago, Gran Turismo put a video out, and what's that video about? Is there any useful info in that video? Yeah, cockpit cam is all about that immersion. I have to completely adapt to this thing. I think a lot of it is that the view, the difference of view. I'm feeling really weird in this position. I'm braking way too late for that first turn. Oh man, I've lost a lot of time by that. Oh, it's such a slug up the hill. So we're getting the Scudo, which I think is gonna make everybody happy. The Suzuki Group 3, which makes a lot of us happy. And Watkins Glen. That's pretty cool. 2 sims getting Watkins Glen in the same month. ACC as well. Watkins Glen. So what's gonna come with Watkins Glen? If there's a new track coming, that means there's more events coming. What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get new missions? Are we gonna get endurance races? What do you guys think? A new grinding method? I think we're all due that by now. And if I've missed some comments, I'm sorry about that. Like, I'm mostly looking at the comments on the straights. Yeah, this thing just doesn't feel anywhere near as on rails as that Mercedes does. I mean, it feels stable, but it's just got no front end. Ah, keep sticking it on the grass. I've done it again. No, I haven't. Just touched the apex. Circuit experience, that's right. We all get like another $1 million to gain out of the circuit experience from Watkins. That's something to take away from it. Yeah, I'm not gaining this guy. I mean, I could definitely be focusing a lot more. I'm not getting most of these corners right. But it's certainly much more of a struggle in this car than it is in the other cars. But if this car can win, any car can win. A couple of my personal wish list content for GT7 would be remember that is it that Italian track from Gran Turismo 4, that city circuit? I want that back, and I want that that RX-8 LM race car thingy from Gran Turismo 4 as well. I use that so much. That would come under a Group 3 class as well for sure. We're missing a proper touring car class for this game though. We've got a couple front wheel drive Group 4s, but no real specific touring car class. What lap are we on? Lap 6. I'm catching him a little bit. There was a slightly better lap. But to think I was doing 55, 54s on that Mercedes, we're doing 57s. I think we're only just on pace with this car. Obviously we could be a bit further up the road if I put a bit more focus into it. No, nearly cut the grass there. Yeah, I wouldn't know much about how the scanning process goes. There we go, we're almost 7 tenths up on this particular lap. Shows, and I'm doing it on the 6th lap as well. That just shows how much I haven't really been focusing. I'm not up to speed with this car yet. Not very fuel efficient either. We'd only get up to about lap 12 or 13 on the tank of fuel that we have. Door a little bit, it's getting a bit hot in here. Right, we're beginning to catch up a bit now. I'm just worried about that M6 because we know how quick he is. If anyone's going to take the win away from us, it's him. Or that Mercedes. Yeah, two pit stops seems to be the most comfortable way to win the race. Especially if your car isn't too fuel efficient. You don't have to worry about saving fuel. Then again, the more you put fuel into the car, the more time you're losing. So ultimately, a bit of fuel saving will get you the best out of this race. As long as you're not losing much time by fuel saving. A little wide. You know what, just for informational and educational purposes, let's try run to the end of this race to see if I win it. And like I said, and like you've seen, I haven't had the best run so far. So if we can take this to a win, I think that's a pretty good sign. Thank you, that's my P1 now. An old layout for a new track. I wonder why they've gone for that. actually might be my best line through there so far in this entire run. Be interesting once I get back onto new tyres to see what lap times I do. The tyres are quite done by now. I also notice how we haven't got the fastest lap of the race. That's how much slower we're going on this run. If you guys are enjoying this stream, then maybe I'll consider streaming the new update when it comes out. Don't know, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just going to put on lap 10 this time. I really can't see us making it to lap 31 with this car. They're going to add 3 extra menus. Oh, but wide. Did they confirm there's going to be 3 new menus? Menu books, or whatever they are? What new cars are coming? There's Scudo, the Group 3. I can't really see what they're going to add as new cafe books, unless it's something, like I said earlier, more specific to the more unique cars of the game, like maybe go-karts or the X2011, I mean X2019, something like that. Alright, confirmed. That's going to be interesting then. I just really don't, other than that, I don't really know what they're going to add as new cafe menus. Oh, you just said them. Let me have a read when I get to the straight. A bit wide. Right, new tyres. Here we go. Collection Toyota 86 opens. So these are things that are a part of the actual progression of the cafe menus. They're not additional things like the last month's things were. All right. Doesn't sound like they're going to be overly difficult. Well, any new content's always good. Gosh, we're back in 13th. Remember I came out in 3rd the last time with the Mercedes. Wonder when we're going to start seeing longer endurance races for GT7, like what's our longest at the moment? 1 hour. Wonder when we're going to start seeing 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours of Nordschleife and Le Mans like we did in the other Gran Turismos. They would really have to do something with the AI to keep us entertained for that long in a race. I think these 1 hour ones are currently just have almost like a perfect balance of difficulty and variety within a race. The 24-hour races would have to really have a few things going on to keep you busy, to keep you wanting to actually do it. Because if they just throw in, oh, here, you're going to have to try your absolute best for 24 hours to win, that's going to tire a lot of people out. They need to make it more fun. If people are struggling to win in a 24-hour race, and having to restart because they can't win it, I think it's just going to put a lot of people off. Oh, hello. Thank you for ruining my run. Didn't even know you was there still. Probably my fault, I just couldn't see him. And that's the other thing I can't stand about Gran Turismo 7 is where's my my virtual mirror? If I'm not in, I think the only view that has the virtual mirror is this view. I don't want to race in this view. I want to race in at least this view. And a lot of cockpit views, they don't have the virtual mirror inside there. So it's a pain. You can't really see what's around you unless you specifically look back, which I always forget is a feature that exists. And it feels wrong. It feels wrong to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. To look backwards. I should have a mirror at the top. There's plenty of space up there. So am I next to him or am I in front of him? I'm in front of him. And yeah, that's the other thing for the longer endurance races, anything over 1 hour, is that they're going to have to implement a bit of a save feature so you can do your race and pause at any point, save it and come back to it on another day. That's just going to need to be a feature. No one's going to be driving 24 hours straight. And it's just not right to have to leave the PlayStation on overnight. It needs to be a save feature. Oh yeah, I forgot the radar exists. You see, these are all the features I completely forget about. I'm just not, even after all this time doing Gran Turismo, half the time I forget all this stuff exists. Yeah, thanks for reminding me that actually there's a thing. How do I get to it? There we go. Wrong one. I'll get there in a sec. I still would much rather prefer a mirror. Those radars, they're a bit... like, I don't want to be looking down there. It's a very small thing to look at, just to see where somebody is next to me. If I've got a mirror, then I can actually see that in my peripheral vision, where somebody is. Which one is it? Is it that one? Yeah. Yeah, that one's very... understeer. Yeah, very difficult. Like, if I'm trying to focus on him, or focus on myself here, like now, I can't see him in my peripheral vision in that radar. I have to look down to that little box on the right there to see where he is. Takes my focus away. Absolutely, that ACC radar, which originated from an AC mod, that's done perfectly right, I reckon. Like, it doesn't take up much space. It's easy to tell when somebody's around you. But yeah, like, that's helpful for when somebody's right next to you. But when you've got somebody behind you, you definitely need a mirror. I mean, that's what they're for. It's for seeing people behind you. Which I'm driving really terrible right now. I'll be surprised if we can win this race by much. Oh, I'm actually really doubting whether we're going to win this. This has just not been a very good run. But I think this run will confirm whether it's ever worth trying this car. It just doesn't seem to be any good anywhere for anything. Trying to think of how far we'd usually be maybe around 8 to 10 seconds ahead in the lead by this point, I think. No, I'll probably be more than that in the Mercedes. We're a solid 20 seconds behind the leader right now. I really don't think we're going to be able to win this. Plus, I'm using more fuel than I would be with that Mercedes. I'm going to have to refuel more. I think. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we have other AI doing 156s going by that fastest lap of the race. I'm almost at that time, my previous lap. I think with a bit more concentration I could be up there as well. It's not going to do a whole lot for us right now. Give me it. I want it. Oh, you can also use that to look sideways. Definitely can't do that while I'm going through a corner though. We're not even up to the podium yet. I really do not want to go around the outside here. Oh. Still there. Where is he? There you are. Yeah. If there's even any reason I'd ever go for that bumper view, it would be because of that mirror. But when I did try it before, I just couldn't get used to it. It just felt too unnatural. So that guy who's leading, who hasn't gone in the pits, is he a medium tyre driver? Has he already had his first pit stop? He's miles ahead. How quick's he going? Gosh, this thing's a real pain to drive. It's just so lazy. I thought I got rid of you. It's so persistent. Those bots. Let me get rid of it again. This keeps coming back. Well, I have caught a second on the leader on this lap, so that does show we've got pace on that particular person. I don't know what tyres they're on, what strategy they're on. Oh, there we go, he's gone on the pit. So he's also a hard tyre driver. He'll make it to the end of the race. So the next person's 3.5-ish seconds behind. Oh, this thing's so reluctant, man. Right, where we got him? What is it? It's the Lexus. I'm not sure exactly who was running net first. I think we'll have a bit more of an idea where we're at after lap 20 when we have our final pit stop. Then we kind of know how far behind we are. I think it's going to be quite difficult, to be honest. My guess is that we're going to be having to reel in a 20-second gap. Trying to see where they are in the distance. Can't see them. The guy with the fastest lap time is almost into the 55s. They are flying. Keeps coming back, and they keep coming back with the new name. Naughty things. I definitely got to bring Nightbot back. You guys have any tips how to get rid of those things, other than Nightbot? So our gap is 10 seconds to Yamanaka and P2. How long's a pit stop exactly? I can't remember how much I worked it out to be. I think it was around 40 something seconds, maybe around 50 seconds. We're going to lose quite a bit of time. It'll be the next lap that we're going into pit. Oops. Oh yeah, no, I've definitely lost a lot of time under just just not having the focus on what I'm doing here. Probably up to about 15 seconds worth. But as a very average sort of run, I still think it'll give us a bit of an idea of this thing's worth. But yeah, I mean, this thing certainly doesn't have all that much more capability in its lap time than what I've got here. And these, I mean, the tyres are worn now. We'll have a quick period of good rubber at the start of the next stint, but after that we'll be back to 57s. At this point I really just don't think it's possible to get 56s with the way I'm currently driving it. Let me see what can happen once I get new tyres on. How many attempts? Well, we started the stream off with a run on the Mercedes AMG that was all nice and clean. We got a clean win there by over a minute. This thing, well, this is the first attempt with this car. Just trying to see what this thing, or if this thing can actually win this. Oh, so much understeer on it though. About time we got new tyres on it. Some more mediums and off we go to the end. So I'm going to make sure I don't overfuel the car this time. That was a mistake I made in the last run. So what was it, 10 laps of fuel we need? Now, if I underfuel slightly, we can always do a bit of fuel saving. We have all the medium tyre drivers coming into the pits now. Come on, I'm nervous of those guys getting through. We have Lopez, but he's the slow guy, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue with him. And 10 laps, let's go. Oh yeah, we've only got 2 guys ahead of us. So, I don't know if many of you heard me earlier, but Lopez seems to be very slow. So we shouldn't have to catch, or have to struggle too much to catch him. Gallo in second, I think, is also fairly slow in this race. And they're right in front of me. So we shouldn't have much of an issue there. You know what? I think we've got this. I think we have this. Because they will fall behind. We should have a win here. We've got a massive gap. We've got 6 seconds to the car behind. We've got this, guys. We're already right behind them. You can see Lopez in the front going really slowly. Both me and P2 catching him really quickly. And I'm catching P2 at the same rate. A whole lot closer of a finish this is going to be, but certainly one we can still win. And it should be by a pretty good margin as well. The gap should only build once we get to the front. I don't see any of the fast guys behind us just yet. Oh, he's got a bit sideways. Looks like he's going to the pits, is he? Yep, so we don't have to even worry about racing him. He'll be miles behind. And this fella here is just too slow to hold his lead. And from this point, if you get to this stage where you're basically leading, we will get past this guy. So once you're at this stage, even if you're struggling with pace, all you have to do is defend with your life. You have to just block whatever you want. As long as you keep yourself in front, you'll win. Even if there's somebody a second per lap faster than you behind you. If they get through, you're stuffed, that's it. But if you can block them for the entire length of the race, then you're good. Just a little wheel tap there, we got through. And that's it, I think. He should eventually go into the pits, I think. But we've got a rather sizable gap to the next person. And we still have 8 laps to build this gap even further. My guess is we're going to build this up to about 15 seconds of a gap. See how close that is at the end. Might put a little bit more focus in on this next lap to see what kind of lap time I can get out of it. No, it's a set AI difficulty, so it's not neither easy, normal or hard, it's just a set difficulty. But it is really hard, whatever this is it's a very hard difficulty. Right, what can this thing do? A little bit wide there. We've gone the accelerator just a little bit earlier there. Still learning the car as well. That was borderline a penalty. Oh, I can't go flat through there just yet with that line. Yeah, the AI are really, really rough. You have to bully your way through. Oh, only just faster. Gonna be a 56, but not a great one. I don't think we're going to be able to take the fastest lap of the race. That's right, last time I didn't get this quite right. It was a little bit better. Just a little bit. Do curbs help to turn better in real life? Depends on what kind of curb. If the curb bounces you up and down too much, it's going to slow you down. Oh, here we go again with the bots. Looks like that might be an interruption for the rest of the stream, unfortunately. I'll get to that when I get to the main straight. Just ignore it. Didn't need to lift there, damn it. And they're really going for it this time. Are we going to go a little bit faster? I don't know. That last sector didn't feel amazing to me. Right, what time? Oh, basically the same time. Let me get rid of it again. It won't be long. These things are really driving me nuts. Right, again, it should be gone. I hope. Through there. Yeah, I know. I used to have another bot that would get rid of those things, but I don't have it at the moment. Need to definitely get something in to sort that out. Oh well, we're past that gap that I initially had estimated. I thought we were going to be ahead by about 15 seconds by the end of the race, but we're ahead of that. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that we're this far ahead with this car. I felt like it was possible to win, but I didn't feel like it was going to be by that much. I just realized there are 2 bots. That's why there are so many messages. There is 2 bots. I haven't blocked one of them. Alright. Only 4 more laps to go and we will have this done. I wasn't really expecting to do a second run today. But I thought after we got started, you know, we may as well go and finish it and see if it's possible to win with this thing. Thank you for everyone who's been sticking around though. Been a neat wee stream we've done here. Bit of fun chatting as well. You don't need a break for that turn. yeah, if you're ever going to use this car, only use it as a challenge for yourself. If you're trying to really go for wins of races, this thing's not going to be your car of choice. Back out of the 56s. I did lose time because of that AI. And if any of you have questions, you feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer them if I can. Must admit though, I am getting kind of sick of this track though. I've spent countless hours driving thousands of laps around here over the last couple of weeks. These 1 hour races, you noticed something that reminds you of B-Spec. I'll get to that again when I get to the next straight. Oh. It was actually not a bad lap on that previous lap. Well, thank you, Mike, for the subscription. Seems that the AI increases its pace when you or others are nearby. Yeah, somebody mentioned earlier in the stream, it seems like when the AI are on their own, they go into a bit of a fuel saving mode and they drive a bit slower. But when you're near them, they start to get racy. It might be the best time I've done that corner with this run. It's about time I got it right. Oof, that was a bit slippy. 2 more laps. Got the gap over 20 seconds now. Right, Aaron, good luck with that run. Hoping you'll be able to get it, that Merc. One of the better options there is, at least from what I've tried. Seems like it's the fastest around this track on raw pace. That and the Corvette are about the same pace. I just think that Corvette's a bit more lively on the rear end. Requires a bit more throttle control, especially as the tyres wear off. The Aston Martin was pretty good, it just doesn't have as much pace. It's really good on its fuel though. The Mazda RX Vision seems to be really good around here as well, but you just need to be able to drive the thing. It's quite tricky to get the most out of it. I really enjoy that car though. Is that RCF that was on our tail a little bit earlier on before the pit stop? Or was it just after the pit stop? Can't remember. Oof, a little bit dirty there. You really think though, some of these cars going around the track that you overlap are going the pace of GT4 cars. It's a little bit ridiculous, some of them. Just gonna have enough fuel to finish the race. Actually, yeah, we're gonna finish with 30 laps. We won't quite make it to the 31st lap on this car. If I had a good run on this car, I would probably just make 31 laps. Half a lap to go. Can really feel the tyres struggling now. One more dose of nasty bots I see. Well, stream's nearly over. Won't have to deal with them too much longer. And there you go. That's a win with the Peugeot VGT Group 3 car. Just enough fuel there. Got rid of the bots one last time. Oh, what I wanted to do. They're now gone. Cool. 30 laps though, so definitely not anywhere near as good as the other cars were. So if you're struggling with this race and you're looking for something to be more competitive around here with, drive the Mercedes. That thing is probably the most dominant around here. Just don't shift all the way to the end of the rev range, all the way up to the red line. You want to shift a little bit earlier, probably about 70% up that rev range. And then you'll have a really competitive quick car around this track and use the medium tyre strategy, 2 stops. Be perfectly fine. The car you want to avoid is this car. It's just too slow. I mean, it still can win the race, as you just saw, but it takes a lot to get the win with this car. Yeah, the AI are really weird. I mean, when I ran the Mercedes, and I think, yeah, I did a 31 lap race. A really average run, actually. It was a really average run, and I finished with a spin as well, and I finished a minute 20 ahead of the next car, and then I had another run where I did no mistakes at all. It was a really good run, also 1 lap run. And I still finished 1 minute 20 seconds ahead. They seem very weird. They kind of seem adaptive to your driving, your lap times, I think. Don't know. I'm trying to beat this race, but I haven't been consistent enough to beat it. That's the biggest thing with this race, is your consistency. You can get one... Oh my gosh, they're back again. You can get 1 minute 57s or so. The lap times that I was doing is about right in that run I just did down. If you can do your 157s and be consistent with that, that's all you need. Otherwise, I think we're done for now. If you want to have a quick look here, there's the top 10 stars of this race that have done the top 10 best runs around here. These are the cars they've used. I believe that the RCZ runs were done before the most recent updates, because they just don't seem that quick around here, unless there's something I'm missing. I agree with the RX Visions, those are really good around here, same with the R8. The BRZ, I think you can get more out of it, it's pretty good. And the Mercedes obviously is right up there. Genesis and the RSR are both great around here as well. Anyways, I think that'll be it for now. I don't think there's too much more to say. We've done the fastest car around here and the slowest car around here today. I think next I'll just be looking forward to the update, and we'll do a bit of content with that. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and thanks for all the support as always. I'll see you guys very soon. So, take care. Catch you very soon.